Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Star Trek episode review. I'm Major Rage, and we're here talking tonight about Strange New World Season 3, Episode 5. It wouldn't be a NerdTube episode review if I weren't joined by my Trekkies in arms. To my right, I've got Zam. How are you this evening?
Fine, thank you, Ty. But I'm keep on rocking. And
We
forgive me, Daniel Vance, in advance.
Thanks for being
And
here with us. We know it's late as hell across the pond.
Thank
Below
you.
him is cousin Cheeto. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm just finding out that wheat thins are false advertising because I'm not getting thin when eating these. But I'm
We
doing good.
officially have a cracker eating crackers on your stream, folks. And we've got Lord Donkey. How are you, boss?
What does that make me since I have meatballs?
I'll
I'm
have to
not even going
come.
to go there. There's so many
I mean,
meat in your mouth jokes.
I'll
Oh,
let
um,
I'll let you know next week.
oh, I am good. I didn't grab anything to take a shot with though when in case Zam starts to fall asleep.
Oh, it's not a matter of if, but when. It's late. Uh,
Yes.
so let's start with
We love
just
you
some
for it.
overall right? He's still here with us. That's what counts. He's dedicated, man. So let's start with some overall thoughts. What did you think about this week's episode with Zam? It was, to me, it was a little bit of a bottle episode that became kind of what seems like it might be a key plot episode for not only Patel's arc this season, but also giving us a new big bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I am going to talk about this episode, but very quickly. Like one of the reasons why people were excited about Strange New Worlds coming was the fact that we were hoping that it would be back to the traditional sense of episodic episodes. This season has not been that whatsoever. Everything is consistently linked to the previous episode, um, which is a shame, really. But nevertheless, this episode was fun to watch. Um, it had some interesting subplots as well as main plots, and I do look forward to talking about it when it comes to ancient alien civilizations.
Oh,
My hair is not big enough for this.
Yes.
All right, Cheeto, what are your overall thoughts of this week's installment?
I thought it was okay. Your typical solve the mystery, people die, medical thing, ancient archaeology traps of ancient races. I mean that it's. I don't know. I mean, I can't fault it. I mean, because Star Trek has pretty much done everything. Everything almost in Star Trek is a
Rehash.
variant, a rehash, but like also like a little bit of a variant of something else. Um, I haven't had a chance to really look into. Did we ever figure out what this ancient race was? Is it something that we probably just? I at the end of the episode there was a name for the
Well,
race, but
they might have
I didn't
discovered
recognize it.
they might have discovered the Gorn, and I know or something along those lines, but they recognized Patel, didn't they? I'm sorry for jumping in there, but there's something there to that, you
Yeah,
know.
I
Absolutely.
did recognize the fact that the Gorn part of Patel basically recognized that ancient race, and I don't know. I feel like it's the same race that was in the Supernova movie. You don't need eyes for where we're going. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Or
the
roads if you're yeah.
or
the
Event
name's
Horizon. That's right. Yeah,
Bethesda, I believe. It's in the notes somewhere. I believe they're Bethesda.
but
But
overall, okay episode.
fair enough. I'll get into what it reminded me of later, but I kind of agree with you that it was a little bit of maybe derivative episode. It reminded me a lot of another science fiction episode, and Donkey might make the connection actually. We'll use that as our
hmm.
segue. What did you think of this week's episode?
I wrote down Space Tomb Raider. Was my initial reaction. Um, and it seems like they're doing a lot of these where it's just, oh, um, we're doing Star Trek in space. Oh, um, we're doing a murder mystery in space. Like
Yeah, I know what you
I think
mean.
that goes along with what Cheeto was saying, that they've run out of ideas, so they put this like Tomb Raider / Indiana Jones thing together, which it was okay. It kind of forced our main characters that have tension into some situations that that tension would grow. Um, but it had some good moments too. So yeah,
All right.
I was just missing the pixelated parts, you know.
We needed Nurse Chapel just to, or no, La'an to run around with like just 2 phasers instead of just one. You know,
That would have been great.
Guns akimbo. Oh Lord. Okay. Do we have any comments to get to other than no?
no.
No.
Mm.
Then we'll just start with our play-by-play. We had a cold open with the junior medical officer's log. I finally caught this individual's name. He's Ensign Gamble. He was still excited to be serving on the Enterprise after 6 months. Dr. Mbenga comes along and exposits that Corby and Chapel are potentially going to make history with their work on immortality. And he gets assigned to charge the biobeds before Dr. Patel arrives, or Captain Patel. In the hall, Chapel and Corby talk, and there's some more exposition. Corby's worrying something fierce that something will go wrong with their experiment. Christine teases him into admitting it, and then they kind of share a sweet moment. That's when Lon gets off the elevator, off the turbo lift, and Chapel and her walk together after Corby gets on the turbo lift, and Chapel asks about Spock. Lon seems to act like she's thinking this is a little bit of jealousy slipping through, but she assures her that she's good. Chapel does.
Friends with benefits, I think, is what she suggested.
Yeah, it sounded
Saying
very
it.
friends with benefit. It's very
La'an
casual.
had to go get her Chapel's blessing.
Yeah, it is a little bit of an awkward situation for him for sure. But saying that they don't have any labels, like you were saying, Cheeto, no expectations, just fun times.
It's like me
and
and Ginger. No expectations, no labels, just
no pressure.
yeah.
Just let it be organic. Just
Yeah.
let it be its
It's
thing.
definitely organic. There's a lot of organics going around the room at that point.
Oh my!
Okay, so Lon tells Chapel if she's really so worried about Spock acting immature that she should speak to him directly, that they're all adults.
So hey, can I I'm sorry, I didn't want to jump in like that, but like
No,
I'm
go for
sorry,
it.
like this whole Christine Chapel, Spock, La'an, like I actually like La'an and the chemistry between Spock and La'an. I do like it. I get it, how it complicates things and everything like that in the canon and whatever. I don't care. I like them too. But like I don't want this 90210 Starship Enterprise, like 17010210 or whatever. Like we don't need this drama. Like I really don't want it. You know what I mean? Like I'm with Zam on that as he falls asleep. Like I'm with him on that. Like it's like it. I don't like the fact that these relationships, just like all this drama is carrying over from episode to episode. And it's just like, God, just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, the whole point of this series was to be like classic Star Trek and TNG, where we got episodic stuff, and even though like things like, I think Lower Decks did it really well, where there was like a connective tissue, but it was very transparent. It wasn't that important, unlike this series where like all the episodic, it doesn't feel episodic anymore. I mean, not at all. It's like Discovery, in that sense.
It's modern, definitely shows more and more every week, and I'm with Cheeto. I don't want this love triangle subplot. I saw this great meme. It had the Pizza Hut font and a picture of Spock and La'an, and it said, "Nobody wants this." In the Pizza Hut font, the classic.
Tell us how you really feel. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I don't mind La'an and Spock together. Like as I said, I like their chemistry actually. I really do. better than Chapel and Spock for sure. So that's why I'm just like, but yeah, like the love triangle drama that you were talking about is just, I'm like, man, just like, let's cut it out, please.
Yeah, maybe get back a little closer to Roddenberry's vision of no interpersonal conflict. Not, some's good. I mean, DS9 struck that balance really well. I felt like with interpersonal conflict drama and then the sci-fi elements in the episode of the week style balance with continuity.
I don't know. I mean, I don't mean to disagree, but like DS9 was definitely it felt like way more serialized, which it worked for what it was because it felt like a soap opera in space, you know, because of all the sort of drama that it was a space station. It wasn't going anywhere. If anything, all the drama was coming to it, and so. With the Dominion War and all the various other shenanigans going on, all the conflicts they had to deal with and all of that, you know, it kind of changed the way. But you know, but even Voyager was, if anything, that could be way more serialized. I mean, they're in the other side of the galaxy trying to get back home, but it felt so episodic. You know, what I mean, it felt seriously episodic. So anyway,
I don't disagree with you. I guess my point was more that this is Strange New Worlds in itself is less episodic, but that DS9 was more so than it had a handful a season of episodes that you could just watch on their own.
Yeah.
But okay, so back in sickbay, Patel is there for her treatment. And the new nurse, Gamble, calls Chapel and Spock's work top-notch science instead of a miracle, because Patel absolutely does not want to hear the term miracle. Dr. Mbanga arrives as Captain Patel leaves, and the doctor tells Gamble that he's going to be on the away team. And this just gets Gamble so excited that he hugs Joseph, and he heads to the mission briefing. We cut to Chapel and Spock on the turbo lift with a tense moment between them. Chapel initiates a conversation, says she's glad to see Spock and Lon spending time together. He deflects with the dance instructor bit. Then she changes the subject to Corby's nervousness. And the smoothness of the mission. Spock says that he's got some safeguards in place, and then our lower decker enters and realizes that he's interrupted.
Yeah, I thought. No, I'll talk about this a bit later if I remember to, but I don't want to bring it up now. It's too early.
Yeah, a little bit, but so at the briefing, the Macroon are the name of the race down on the planet this week, and they're only allowing a small landing party. They've refused to join the Federation several times, it would seem. Spock's going to stay on the ship to monitor the deflector array adjustments that he's made for this mission. Ortegas' brother, however, is there filming the briefing. And he interrupts by asking Captain Pike to repeat himself after the camera glitches out. Una admonishes him to get better footage if he's quiet. Pelia hams it up. And says she's
and that I knew you would hate
that part.
I really hate that. I don't mind Uhura's brother being there, or not Uhura, Ortegas' brother being there, but like, really, we're doing the whole like, I don't know, what is this, like YouTube influencer in the 22nd century? Like, you know, like he's not a reporter. He's like, right? He's not I don't think he's a reporter. And it's just like,
he's filming a documentary.
Okay, well, still, yeah, he's filming a YouTube documentary. And like, I mean, you know, and like,
maybe he's doing it for Skydance Paramount.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, and then like you got Palia, who, you know, who's just hamming it up, and I'm like, no, like, they think it's charming, but it's not. At least for me, it was not endearing or charming at all.
I see what they're trying to do, but I can appreciate it not landing for everybody. But they're definitely trying very hard to break up this seriousness with a little bit of levity from her, and it's not the only time this episode they try it, and I don't think that it doesn't work as well this time as it does maybe the next, but I don't think it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah,
And
we got a lot more of her this episode than any other this season so far.
yeah,
And yeah, I can appreciate her handmade up like that not being everyone's taste, but I enjoyed seeing her again. She's fun.
yeah, they always play her for comedic effect a little bit when she's on screen.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, on Jim's Landscape, thanks for joining us. But she invites Ortegas' little brother to engineering and then asks Gamble to read the first paragraph of the brief, which states that Ortegas has clearance to film the current roster of Enterprise missions.
Sorry, Mage. If you don't mind, I just want to, but I didn't want to cause any issue here. But Jim, would you like to join us, Jim? Here, I'm sorry for like bringing this up, fellas. I never asked Jim to come in here. He just come in randomly, but as he is in here, Jim, would you like to join us in talking about this episode? Only if you've seen it, of course. That'd be cool. All right, guys.
I'm sure. Where was I? On the planet's surface, Corby is there, dreading one of the. Already, he's with one of the Macroon natives. Gamble kind of says hi as he's showing up. It tries to ingratiate himself, and it kind of doesn't go over well with Najal, the Macroon native. Corby says there's an advanced tech hiding beneath the surface, and Christine says to set up the equipment. As Uhura's setting up hers, Erica's little brother comes over and interrupts her to show her the camera. And they talk about the auto tracking that allows nonverbal cues to be picked up. He proceeds to flirt with her again. But she's saved by
you sounded like fart with her instead of flirt with her. And I think farting with her would be the more amicable way of saying their relationship, because honestly, it's a load of bollocks. This is like what they've got going on. It just feels so stupid. I don't know if you guys agree.
If Spock gets to romance multiple people, Uhura should get a chance too. I want more. I want to see more of that.
I'm not doubting that, but like this doesn't feel organic.
No, it's a little bit forced. It's a little bit high school too.
Yeah,
a little bit Degrassi.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
if he was more of like an ensign coming on the ship, you know, because like Uhura was a cadet coming on the ship, you know, back, you know, maybe they went to school, maybe they went to Starfleet Academy together, you know, like put something there that kind of links them together, you know, like the new run of recruits comes in, and that's when, you know, Ensign Gamble comes in, and Ensign Ortega's 2 comes in, you know, like that. I think there should have been something more than just like, oh, it's her little brother and he's a 22nd century influencer, you know, like I just really just rubs me the wrong way. And as I said, I don't mind him being there, but there needs to be a better reason for him being there. He's in classified briefings, like, and I mean, I know that there's a little line there to say that he can be there, but I'm like, not just no. No.
Yeah, regarding ancient civilizations, like no, like this is not. I mean, maybe there could be a briefing he could be in, but not that one, in my opinion.
Well, and even if he was brought in by like what's his nuts? Why am I forgetting his name? No, the scientist, the one that's dating Chapel.
Corby.
I can't remember. Corby. Like even if Corby brought him in to document everything they were doing, that would make more sense. But no, he's just here and he's just recording things on a Starfleet vessel and in briefings and stuff like, and that just doesn't sit well with me. You know what I mean?
It's like when they had that journalist on The Expanse join the crew of the Rocinante.
I didn't see The Expanse, so I've heard I need to see it though. But
Yeah, you're missing out. It's great.
I know I've heard that, and I need to find a place to watch it because I've heard it's really good.
Prime Video.
Pirates Bay.
So-
Okay.
Arr, arr, matey. As Uhura sets up, said that. She gets saved by Chapel, who instructs her to finish setting up the pylon. The Enterprise fires its deflectors, and the beam bounces off the pylons to the magnetic anomaly in the center, revealing a hidden building. Chapel's going to call and ask for backup, and that's when the world's longest cold open finally ends.
Have you guys seen The Mummy with Brendan Fraser? No,
not.
Yeah.
No, really. I'm surprised. Like, there's a moment where they're trying to
Get on the
find
Mummy
lost
ride.
Oh, okay, well, they're looking for the lost city of Omanatra, or what the hell it was called, and they had, but they had to. And no problem, Jim. But they had to wait for the sun to rise, because when the sun rises, it exposes the city through all the haze and the desert and stuff, and that's what I kind of got vibe from when the city was exposed using their technology. Kind of reminded me of that. I'm not sure if you know what I mean, Cheetah.
Yeah, from The Mummy. Yeah, no, I agree. No, it's very indicative of The Mummy.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to catacombs and stuff like that, this whole episode,
they just have to throw the science-y Star Trek of it in, which I'm okay with. Again, it's just a variant on some things that have kind of already been done before. But again, Trek's done just about everything, and media and cinema has done even more. So
yeah, when it comes to alien civilizations that are ancient, they are still extremely advanced at the same time. Like this civilization.
Well, and that's kind of the thing is, like, I mean, like a lot of so like there is a precedent for that. It just, there has to be something that, like with the Iconians, like there has to be something that wipes these races out, because I think Babylon 5 did a really good job with addressing the issue of ancient, very advanced civilizations that exist in modern times, because it does in Star Trek seem like all of these civilizations are all just about the same age, maybe, except for the really ancient ones that they just kind of find later on that were destroyed somehow, and they don't ever really address why that happened or how that happened. So I'm always all for, like, hey, this ancient civilization died off eons ago, but tell us more about why they died off. What happened? What took them away? I mean, because, like, let's look at the Federation right now. Like, even if Earth is destroyed, how do you and it doesn't even have to be just one race, because the Federation is 150 planets. So it's like, again, like I think they're very narrow-minded sometimes in Star Trek when it comes to, like, races. I think they've expanded a little bit more with that, with the precursors and like the Iconians and stuff like that. But yeah, like there really needs to be more ancient races that live among us in Star Trek. I think that's kind of, and I mean, they kind of have that with the long-lived race. But what was the one that not Palia? What's her name? The engineer, Hocus Pocus.
Pelia.
It is Palia. Okay. So I feel like it's very short-sighted on Star Trek to just make, and I get it. In the 60s, I get it. Like, it's the 60s, even in the 90s, it was kind of like a little bit of a foreign subject, but it just doesn't make sense for there to be no races around that are of that ancient descent without a reason. Even if you say an entity like the Borg went around and just wiped everything out across the galaxy, they wipe and reloaded the entire Milky Way or something like that, but like, the human race has only been around since the Big Bang. No, I'm sorry. Since the beginning of our solar system, which is about 7 billion years old, I think our solar system is, maybe 3 billion.
Yeah, but we haven't been around as long as that,
But that's what I mean. If the entirety of our solar system was on a clock right now, the human race would have only existed since 11:58 p.m. to midnight the
Wait.
next. Like, so we have literally existed like 3 minutes on the cosmic scale of, or of Earth. So it kind of puts into perspective, like, even like people don't realize how old the universe is, and like how old, like if there were races even 7, 8, 9 billion years ago, something has to exist of those. And
I think this Discovery did a good job final season. They did a good job of ancient technology, don't you think, Cheeto? And all of that. There was episodes of them going through tombs and stuff, and all of that. I'm not sure if you remember the final season of Discovery.
Yeah, no, I mean,
with that massive MacGuffin, getting all those pieces across the universe.
Well, and even they said, the precursors said, well, no, they weren't called the precursors, were they? What were they called?
Progenitors.
Progenitors. That's it. I knew it was a P word. The penisers. I mean, the progenitors. But like those guys, like they even said, no, this technology is from a race even before us. So it kind of gives you that mindset of like how old the universe really is. So anyway, I'm sorry, Mage. I know I kind of derailed the whole thing, but it's just like it's something that Star Trek really hasn't touched that much, and that's why I would love for there to be like a time travel-esque, like almost quantum leap like Star Trek, where you go back billions of years, you go back like just a couple thousand years, you can even go back to like 1960s New York, like the good old TOS days, but like you could jump around and do these things and explain these things, and like you don't want the entire universe explained in one go, but like you can still like kind of put a little bit of scale to it. All right, I'm done, Mage. I promise, I'm done.
No worries. The discussion is the more interesting part, not a recap. People have already watched the episode.
Yeah,
except for Jim.
And you made some very good points, Cheeto.
Thank you. I tried.
I think that's a perfect place for the Doctor to show up in a crossover.
Hey,
I'm back billions of years ago.
I am all for it. I really am. Like if they were to do that, like
they've done the comic crossovers, so not unprecedented to have the Doctor interact with Star Trek.
I would not be upset about it. Anyway.
So after the credits roll, Lon and Spock arrive. Corby tries to be friendly. Spock gives him the cold shoulder. Lon says that the Macroon vetoed their request to allow a bigger landing party, so it's just going to be those two. They access the panel with symbols in an unknown language. It's similar to the Macroon alphabet, though. Corby's got a signet ring he found on a planet 12 light years away. It's a royal insignia. He thinks it might be a temple or a palace, this building. Similar symbols on the tablets were found on a planet called Praetorian, far away. Chapel apparently matched the ancient texts up and figured that the Macroon are descendants of ancient astronauts who claim to have found a way to immortality via quantum uncertainty at the molecular level. Is our technobabble for the week.
Technobabble of the week. Good stuff.
It really is, though. It's just plausible enough to be like, huh, okay, they didn't quite pull it fully out of their ass. But did they?
Oh, got a bit of head rocking there, apologize. Yeah.
I think Star Trek's at its best sometimes, though, when they're pulling stuff out of their ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like
the USS makes shit up as we go.
Mm-hmm. For me, like,
so good.
They talk about stuff and you think to yourself, what the hell are they talking about? And then you see it visualized and you think, okay, I get what they're trying to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Uhura translates, and the translation is blood freely given. Corby's dramatic and pulls out a knife and walks forward like he's going to cut his own hand open. Big, manly man going to cut his hand open. Mm-hmm. Chapel stops him, goes through the door where a needle pricks her fingertip, and her blood drop opens the door. They head in with Lon and
I have an issue with this. Like, what the hell? Like I could just get into somebody's house just by pricking my finger at the door. It kind of felt like that. Like, why the hell is
Yeah,
this?
why
Why
she
she?
get in?
Yeah, it should have been what's his face, the guy with the
Mhm.
the guy who looks like
The
he's from the Blue
archaeologist.
Man Group. Yeah,
Native, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Najal. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
that would make
figure,
more sense.
I mean, as we get on in the episode, it seems like it's some kind of trial, like a cloister of trials, to coin a Final Fantasy phrase. You know what I mean? Like they have to figure things out. So it's like it does only make sense that it would be geared towards that race, but at the same time, I don't because
Take care, Jim.
I don't know. I keep going. I've got thoughts on this. I have to put them together, and I want to hear more discussion before I give it fruition.
Yeah. This I'll speak more on this aspect of the episode later. Inside, they find that the comms and transporters don't work. Uhura finds a door, and then Gamble finds some bodies, which apparently died of starvation centuries ago. Spock wants to leave and report to the ship. Chapel asks for them to stay, and Spock asks the native what he wants them to do. He speaks in their native language and says that he deeply wants to learn more of their history, and Spock yields, and they stay. They find another tablet and a memory stone, Corby says, on the bodies, like the one from Praetorian. Gamble picks up an orb, which then proceeds to explode right in his face and destroy his eyes.
Rookie
That's some
mistake.
deep shit. That was deep shit right there.
Mm-hmm. So he gets beamed directly to sickbay, where Dr. Mbanga puts a visor onto his face to try and treat him.
By the way, I was seriously scared at this point. Like when they put the visor for the healing on, I was seriously scared at that point where I'm like, oh no, they're gonna make another blind black dude with a visor. Great, here we go.
I never really thought of that until you mentioned that.
My husband at that point asked, "Is that Geordie?" Stop.
Seriously,
Sorry,
though, I mean,
Zane,
I'm like, oh, are we going this way? But anyway, I digress.
But, I was just impressed the fact they were able to regenerate his eyes.
I mean, they've done stuff. They've regenerated hands, right?
But eyeballs, but just like it's just. But
well,
nevertheless,
it wasn't regenerate. It was like making new eyeballs
yeah.
that would work, not like making
I
your
mean,
body.
we're on the
regenerate.
cusp of that technology right now. Like, so I mean, it's not. Star Trek has always had to readjust its technology standards based on where we're at currently. You know what I mean? Like, it's always it's always evolving because obviously, like in the 60s, they thought automatic opening doors was like a 22nd century technology. Now you go to Giant Eagle, which is a grocery store here in the States. You go to Giant Eagle and you can act like Magneto and open them with your hand. I do that. Yep. Or a Jedi. You can do that too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Your sci-fi of preference.
Airplane 2. Have you seen Airplane 2?
I've only seen Airplane 1.
Yeah, I've only seen Airplane 1.
Airplane 2, William Shatner's in it. And
then I'm really going to avoid it.
He goes up to the whole point in Airplane 2 is that they're doing the first shuttle trip to the moon, and there's a moon base and stuff, and guess who's on that base? It's William Shatner as the sort of like airport guy. And when he goes through the doors, he goes shh like that, and then he goes shh again to close it. It's so funny, But anyway.
So Pike orders the away team back, and Chapel and Lon go back inside to gather their party. Uhura has found a register, and Chapel says that they have to leave, but Corby wants to stay with Najal. Ortegas the Younger had sent the camera into the next room, and they get an image of the thing, and it causes Najal to freak the hell out. He says their word for evil and runs towards the door, where he promptly gets disintegrated, and the door closes.
I was like, yeah, get the hell out of here. We don't need you wanker. You know what I mean?
Ow.
Seven's a crowd.
So Gamble wakes up in medbay. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure they found the equivalent of our RNC, and That's why they were like, Kiva. Republican National Convention. Never mind, guys.
Oh.
Never mind. Keep going.
Sorry.
Campbell woke up in sickbay with only the visor preventing the deterioration of his eyes and not regenerating it as Mbanga expected it to.
I just want to add that the fact what happened to Gamble, and yet these guys decide to go back into the temple afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But they did actually leave the temple. They were able to leave, and
They
they
should have
still
all got the
decided,
hell out.
why are they going back in? What the hell?
It's
No,
like a
they-
horror
I
movie.
thought at that
Almost
point,
like it was right in
I
the
thought at
first
that
place.
point the doors shut and they were trapped in there.
No, Gamble.
After they go
remember,
back in,
Yeah.
Gamble got back on the Enterprise, remember? So, and they weren't able to transport, even with the door open, they weren't able to transport whilst they were in that temple. So they had to get out and for a brief moment send them back in. But they go, oh, we need to get back in there again. You know, even though our crewmate lost his eyes, we need to go back in there again.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It's just
like
it's just eyes. They can regrow them.
Chapel's like, oh, the native died. Oh well. Anyway, let's go.
Yes, tragic. Anyway. Good old
Anyway.
Loki.
right? So it would appear that Gamble's short-term memory has been damaged. Then Captain Pike arrives. Dr. Mbanga tells him that he thinks it's a biological weapon, that he's changed his opinion of what has caused this injury to Gamble. He starts to blame himself, and then Pike reminds him that he more than anybody should know that you can't protect everybody.
And I
kind
did
of-
like that because that in exploration, that is a key factor. Like it is a dangerous business walking out your front door, and it's an even dangerouser, I know, improper grammar, and dangerouser business to leave your comfort zone and leave your planet. And, so, I mean, it is a good thing where it's like, you can't save everybody. You can try, but you can't.
No, you can't. And, Mbanga should know this from his experience with his daughter and stuff. And
it's so weird. There's something like it's so weird, the relationship between Gamble, and Mbanga. Like I thought that they were gonna like push a relationship, which I'm like, whatever, that's fine. A little weird because of the age difference, but I'm like, whatever.
More like a father and son thing.
He saw him as a surrogate son, and he reminded him so much of his.
I know, but they were pushing it really hard. It just felt forced. You know what I mean? Like it didn't. I don't know.
10 episodes a season, they're pushing everything.
That's true. That is a very good. But
I agree with Cheeto. Like something like this, if it needs to feel a little bit more organic, maybe
if needed more episodes.
If Chapel was genuinely out of the picture, and then these two are working with each other, I think it's quite a tragic episode to a degree. What goes on in this episode? So I would have felt it would have felt a lot worse if we really saw a bond develop between these two guys, and we genuinely the actor was part of the main crew as well. That would have been great.
Yeah, because he only came in episode 2, right? Like he came in episode 2, and then I don't know if he was in 1 because that was the Gorn follow-up. Mm-hmm. So episode 2, and then we had 3, 4, and now 5, and like that's it. Like really, like we're.
And he didn't have a big part in 2 and 3, or 3 and 4. I don't think.
Yeah, but it's like it almost feels like they were trying to pull a Hemmer from season 1, the chief engineer. But it's like we had, I think, 8 full episodes, 1 through 8 with Hemmer, and that's what really, And Hemmer I loved Hemmer. I thought he was great.
I did too. He's bridge crew, and now we're gonna lose somebody after just a couple of episodes, and it's not even.
It was very promising.
He was. But we lose a lower decker.
Yeah, but then like Gamble came in, and it's like it's literally been 3 episodes. Like we're really supposed to care about this? Like, no. I mean, maybe if he was here until next season, maybe we'd feel something, but not really. As I said, I know you're going to get to it towards the end, but like I kind of feel like that they're like they didn't. I don't understand why they would Tasha Yar this so bad.
They threw away so much potential.
Shock factor as well.
Go for it.
Shock factor to a degree, and not everything needs. I mean, look, I very much agree with you. I would like this guy to have been there longer, but the fact that he was like fresh fresh out the academy, pretty much. Hardly had a chance to work on the Enterprise, and he liked being on the Enterprise. He mentioned the word Enterprise and stuff like that. The big deal. It's the flagship ship and all of that. And then what happened to him is like, wow, like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous working in space, and and.
Well, and that's why I'm like, I kind of wish Chapel wasn't around these first couple episodes. I mean, I know that would kind of hamstring a couple of the episodes, but I'm like, I kind of wish Chapel wasn't around because it would have given more time for maybe him to kind of build that rapport with M'Benga. Less drama to have to, like we could actually spend more time with the new characters rather like Scotty even. Scotty's not had a shit ton. I mean, in the last, episode 3, he had a lot to do, but it's like in this episode, he had a little bit to do. But it's like we could be spending time with Scotty. We could be spending time with this Gamble character. And you got
Ortegas the Younger.
Yeah, Ortegas the Younger. But we've got Chapel and her bullshit again.
I don't like
Chapel.
And by the way, look, I need to mention this because I forgot. I was angry at myself that I didn't mention this when we were talking about the Spock episode with the Q and all of that. Was it last week or the week before?
2 weeks
Episode
ago.
3, 2 weeks ago. He went to his bachelor party, and his bachelor party only consisted of Pike, Scotty, and Banga. That's a great bachelor party.
Who you talking about? Spock?
Yeah.
Sam Kirk was also there.
Okay, great. Sam Kirk there too. Like,
I mean, he's forgettable, but that's another character that we've barely seen this season. Like, again, Chapel and her bullshit is taking away from all the other characters.
No,
it's almost like they're starting, like Discovery is starting to creep, like the Discoveryisms are starting to creep its way into Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, agree. I'm just saying, like, it's your bachelor party and you've got like 4 crew members at your party. Like, come on, like, there's a ship full of hundreds of people and these are the only guys at your party. I just thought that was a bit stupid. I mean, Spock is hardly somebody he hardly knows Spock at this. Scotty. He hardly knows Scotty at this particular stage, and he's already there.
Spock tried to strangle Sam Kirk.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that was then. I had to bring that up because I was angry with myself that I forgot to mention that. Like if you have a bachelor party, that Pike's quarters should have about a good 20% of the men of the Enterprise on there. So
couldn't afford the extras that day.
But we're talking about episode 5.
Yeah.
The Chapel Chronicles.
He does feel like a Mary Sue in this episode. It's all about her. And
I'm the key.
But why? Just because the writers like her a lot.
Yeah, I don't get it. I really kind of wish she was gone for a lot of this season. Like that 3 months that she was gone. Like I get it. They kind of used it like the between season is like the 3 months, like they used to do back in like the 90s and 2000s when we actually, we had to have a reason for 3 months to pass between seasons. So it would kind of line up with the timeline. But like, yeah, I'm kind of like, no, like she can be gone for a while. I don't care. Like I'm over her and Spock and I think her character was interesting in season 1. I feel like season 2 really destroyed her character, like started destroying her character.
That's basically what they should have done. Is that Gamble should have filled in for her this entire season, and then she could have come back next season. I agree with you there, but at the same time, they were trying to do that Games of Thronesy sort of thing thing like they did with Discovery at the very beginning, where like anybody could die, and and there's anybody who could die. It tends to be a reasonably new character, not an established one.
I have plot armor.
Well, yeah, that's Scotty and Sam Kirk and Pike and Spock. Like they've all got canon armor at this point. Because that if they
Sam dies at some point in TOS, right? Sam dies in TOS.
Yeah, but he's not supposed to die until TOS. So you would have everybody losing their ever-loving shit if he died before that.
Mm-hmm.
Most
he dies and comes back as an android. That's okay.
The Gollum. He can. Everybody comes back as Golems. And then they just never mention it ever again.
He might not die. That's the funny thing because we're a different timeline.
Yeah, I mean, but like they still, I think they would still play it safe and not do the timeline or not kill him until. Well, and technically he died in TOS, so I mean he won't technically in the prime timeline he won't even die in the show if they still try to stick to canon, which again I'm kind of over canon at this point.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So I'm going to go into light speed. And the ruins chapel can't open the door. They decide to move into the next room. It scans chapel. It disappears when she touches it. And they have to enter in the same formation again. That's when we get the split up effect. And
so they're all in the same room, but they're at different time periods.
Different
dimensions.
Yeah. Like different dimensional planes or whatever.
I thought it was time period because of what happened to Spock's hand.
No, they explain it.
Things were
the term is
causality.
Yeah, causal inversion or
yeah, there you go.
Things
more
were
technobabble.
More technobabble.
Things that happened in the future were appearing in the present.
Yeah, cause and effect don't line up anymore in that.
Something like that. That's where I felt like the Doctor needed to show up. Also, I love there where La'an's just like, okay, Nurse Chapel, go risk your life to open the door, please. It has to be you. You're the key.
Well, I think they wanted that to be more like catty, like, oh, you're Spock's ex, so I want you like, and it doesn't come out that way, again, I don't want them to do this whole love triangle drama thing. It just drives me bonkers that we need to be this way. And
it's so Degrassi.
Yeah.
It very much is.
So they're split up. They're into the on the ship. We get more and more finding out that the Gamble is not Gamble. The entity is inside of him, and we get that whole plot. And that was it. It becomes the main plot to me. The B plot kind of becomes the main plot the more and more this episode goes on.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I mean, I think maybe they're both equal.
That's another good way of looking at it too.
I know we don't get any explanation well, you haven't gotten to this point yet, but like we don't get any explanation of the connection of the entity. So to anything else. Again, just a little bit of universe building would be nice. You don't have to solve all the problems, but at least give us like factors of the equation so we can speculate.
Instead, they just set them up as this existential threat at the end of the episode, and we have to wonder when they're if or when they ever get explained.
And they won't, because they were never in any other episodes, so it didn't happen. Or like, not it didn't happen, but like they never got released. And it's like, I'm like, we need something other than this is a mystery threat. Oh no, we'll never talk about this again. Like
another thing they could have had locked up. Oh, who? I've never heard of her. It's another thing they could have just had locked up at Daystrom Station.
True.
Whether it be that Ensign Gamble didn't actually die and was just stuck over there, or the little grenade parasite. Entity.
Well, they did put it in the pattern buffer, so they have. I mean, sorry, I'm skipping to the end, but like they put it in the pattern buffer, so I mean, they could technically still have it, at Daystrom Station. Anyway,
that's true. Okay, so our groups that we get are Chapel and Noonien and Singh. We get Corby and Spock, and of course there's Uhura and Ortegas the Younger. And eventually they all reunite. We get the Gamble is possessed by the entity plot.
That was pretty cool, I have to be honest.
I thought it was too, and the creepiness. The guy that played Gamble did a good job acting. I felt like,
but he had a lot of range in this episode as well. And like
I thought it was done
losing
really
his
well,
eyes.
like the whole possessing thing and him like going
Yeah.
back and forth between being, you know, like the possessor and himself and everything. I thought it was kind of creepy, and you were always kind of on the edge of your seat, like, is he just, you know, faking, or is he actually, you know, because later on in the episode you see what happens.
Yeah,
But it felt very Borg.
I can see that.
It looks like him passing through the force field, and you know,
Yeah, that part was nuts.
very Borg-esque.
Borg-esque.
Yep. So on the surface, we eventually find out that, you know, we've got this causal inversion going on, and they have to make a leap of faith, basically.
Indiana
has to be-
Jones style.
Yeah.
This
have
made
to
me
walk-
think of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, when you know, when they had to step out on the platform and take a leap.
100%.
Yep.
I was going to bring that up as well. Like, yeah, it was the leap of faith
And-
moment.
Spock then goes to Chapel again, says, "Hey, you need to put your life in danger again. Go ahead.
Well,
We'll
Hey,
be right
trust is
behind
a
you. Trust
trust
me."
is a two-way street that may or may
Trust
not
me.
lead to the bottom of that chasm.
well, Spock has decided that we need to go in order of formation that we came in, so he was sticking to that aspect and didn't want to change that. So that meant Chapel had to go first.
But why? Like, there was no like, put my foot out to see if it's actually there. It was just, okay, we're going to confidently make our first 2 steps. And oh, hey, it appeared. Great.
It did. They eventually get out. That and eventually, on the ship, Patel comes to sick bay, and ends up. They have the fight between Patel and Gamble. How'd you guys feel about that scene? Zam,
was
did you have any
interesting.
thought? Nope, he's out. Cheeto,
No,
do you have any thoughts?
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I mean, we already know that she's infested by the Gorn and stuff like that, and then it just made me. It kind of not answered, but it answered a couple of questions, but asked some more as well regarding the Gorn. I really do feel that they are the substitute 84712 or 8712, what the hell it's called. They are feeling more.
8472.
They are feeling more and more every time we see them, more and more like that, you know, in every aspect, you know, and this kind of confirms it to a degree.
I just,
Interesting.
again, I want some context. Again, like we like, it's almost like they're trying to pull like the Q and the Elorians, you know, like, why, you know, the Q does not like the Elorians do not like the Q. I'm talking about Guinan's race. And like, why? Like, we really get no real contextual, like, I think they, in Picard season 2, they gave us a little bit of context.
No, we
but
just
I
get
don't-
the.
yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, but I mean, it's like, I'm like, can we have a little more context, please? Like, please, just why are the Gorn, like, why did that race recognize the Gorn in her immediately? How did Patel recognize that race in, you know, in particular? Like, give us some freaking context within the episode. Like, I get it, it's episodic, but you can still explain these things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Legitimate gripe. In engineering, Gamble holds Kirk, Scotty, and Pelia at phaser point, asking for the command codes. This is the scene where he fakes being Gamble, the entity does, and before M'Benga can get blasted, Pelia shoots Gamble in the back, and the entity escapes. Scotty catches it in the containment orb, and they chuck it into the pattern buffer.
He did the Pokemon Go and captured it, and
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They look like Pokeballs, didn't they? Those things.
they
Mhm.
did.
Mhm.
I do like the fact though that the resolution was they figured out we'll call it the Pokeball. They figured out the Pokeball and they just used it to like get them back. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I do like the fact that they, like, Scotty's like, and even Pelia, like, figuring out that technology and then using it to recontain. It's not like they just made up some magic, like, oh, we're gonna shift it into another dimension by doing this, that, and the other. Like, no, there's like, we're going to put it back in this ball and we're just going to hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes science is not, and engineering is not pretty.
It's also something I really liked about this episode is for a show where the main cast almost every single time they solve the problem, they come out relatively unscathed. Maybe they had a couple red shirts die here and there, which we did in this episode. Um, but they come out relatively unscathed, and okay, it's on to the next thing. Like Chapel when the native died. Okay, well, let's go on. Let's keep going. Nothing happened.
Nope.
But
Sorry.
here they didn't defeat the enemy. Like they got away by the skin of their teeth, and I think that's a good thing for the show that
What
they
enemy did they defeat? Like it was just escaping it. Like a temple.
yeah they just escape. They leave everything enough alone, and that's it.
Well, I mean, they
In a
did
way,
talk about at
isn't
the end
that
of the episode about, you know, Starfleet and the what's the race's name? I don't remember. But you know, that race, you know,
blue collar
working
man
together.
group, the blue man group,
Blue Man Group. So
Coral
the Blue Man
Group.
Blue Man Group
Yeah.
race, you know. Yes, I'm going to throw the poll up. Okay.
Trying to be discreet.
Yeah, you know, see where he typed it.
Yeah, no, I did. I saw it. Okay. But yeah, so I you know, they did at least at the end. I just, again, context in the episode. You know what I mean? Like, if this was like a serialized show, then we could keep exploring, and, like, you know, next episode they could dive even further into like the connection between that and the Gorn and stuff. But that's not the point of the show. The point of the show is to be like classic Trek bottle episodes. You know what I mean? So it's
But it's
like,
become the point of the season now.
yeah, the point of the season or the point of the episode.
No, legitimate gripes. It's almost like we've been sold a bill of goods. Like, or maybe it's a bait and switch after such a good first season. But I don't know. We get the second Pelia big cheese moment in the end briefing.
Again, just awful.
Hated it.
I don't like
sure.
her to begin with, and like that just really like rubbed me the wrong way.
And the episode ends with M'Benga informing Gamble's family about his loss, and the display with the info on the Vesda flickering and freaking out, foreshadowing that we will indeed see more of the Vesda probably this season.
Yeah, and Benga having to make that call reluctantly, you know, knowing, and he just made the call. We never saw the aftermath of that. And, you know, like, just imagine just living the parents, just doing your own thing. Phone suddenly rings and somebody's telling you that your son's dead. I mean, Jesus Christ.
But I mean, that's kind of, I mean, they've done that in previous. I mean, like Riker's had to do that. Trip had to do that. I mean, Archer had to do that in episodes. Those are just ones that come to mind. There's always an episode where it's like you have to deliver the bad news to a family member, you know, episode.
So we've got the poll up. We'll do some final thoughts and marks now, everybody. I'm going to go anti-clockwise. We'll start with you, Donkey.
Oh, with me.
Throw you off.
I didn't really have a rating in mind before I came into this, so I'm with some of the discussion here. I think I'm going with a 7. It was good, but there were some. It just felt very like, oh, we're, like I said at the beginning, we're doing Tomb Raider in space. Okay, we scratched the surface of this place, and then people are dying. We have to leave. Move on to the next mission.
Yeah, they left with some information, but no trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no baubles.
I wasn't able to. Sorry, something. Can you guys make sense to me? Like the fact that those Cantonese written on those inscriptions, and what the hell was all that about?
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah,
there
there
was
was
some Earth
Chinese on one of those
languages.
console at one point,
Yeah.
and they just gloss over it.
You talking
They
about the
just
end of the
translate
episode,
it.
or
No, in the middle of the episode.
Before they got out of the cave,
Yeah, when they're all
one
separated
console
in the
had.
different dimensions.
I must have
Is
looked away because I only
Whoa.
watched it the once, but
Hmm.
so
I don't know what that was about.
maybe they'll explain it later, but I doubt it.
Sorry,
Cheeto, what?
again, missing
sorry,
the point
what-
of this show.
What
sorry,
was
Mitch.
that, Zam?
Sorry, explain. I'm sorry, my fatigue. Explain what? Sorry.
We brought up the
Yeah.
human languages on the
Yeah,
console.
yeah. So what I brought up, I apologize. Yeah.
Oh,
God
good.
damn it, man! I'm just wish I
No
could.
problem.
All right.
Cheeto, what are you
Almost
going to
there.
give this episode?
I'm gonna give it a 5. I thought it
Ooh.
was very I feel like they're missing the point of the series. I don't, as I said, I'm not a big Chapel fan. I'm not a big fan of the drama, and all that. You know, like the stakes are fine, but then they throw Gamble under the bus, and he's a sacrificial lamb. But it's like we've not even gotten any time to really attached to him to feel anything. Like we won't even miss him at this point, to be fair. The only person who's going to miss him is Mbenga, because he tells us to. That's it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I really feel like that this was poor writing and poor planning on the show's part. And on top of that, as we've said, they're missing the point of this show.
All right. Zam?
Cheetah made some good points. Actually, I was gonna give it a 6, but I'm a big fan of all this sort of Tomb Raidering stuff anyway, and all of that. And regardless of this being done before and all of that, I genuinely thought this was a fun to watch episode, but at the same time, there's a bigger picture, which is something that I've always brought up regarding various things that we've watched, including Trek. So I'm gonna stick with Cheeto. I was gonna give it a 6, but Cheeto is kind of pulled my arm on this one. I'm gonna give it a 5 as well.
Okay. You guys don't even want to know how high my initial rating was for this episode, because I enjoyed watching it a lot. Both
Dude,
likewise.
if you
watched
liked it,
but
I'm glad you liked it, but don't change your rating on our account.
the more I think on
Well-
it, though, sit here and look at it objectively and discuss it with
As a critic.
observed it. As a critic, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to slam it and give it a 6, just because.
What's your initial? Just that. What was your knee jerk?
My
reaction?
knee jerk was like 9. I really
Wow.
like watching it.
Really? I'm gonna have to watch
It
it again.
reminded
just
me of a Doctor Who episode I really like.
Right.
Oh,
which one?
Two Streams.
I don't know that one.
The one where Amy gets separated from Rory and the Doctor and ages.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, if
It's a good
this
one.
episode could have pretty much been almost the way it is now as an episodic episode, and I would have given it a lot higher mark, but because it's part of this arc and everything like that, and then very other elements like Patel and all of these things are part of it. It just has an effect on it, but it's nice to look at. It's fun to watch. It had some interesting moments and stuff like that. I would love to have found out what would happen if they were all standing around each other during the dimensional rift, and then would they have merged into each other's bodies or something like that? Would they solve the clue?
Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
think
would have been fun.
I think
Yeah.
they should have gone more into the causality type thing and had them die a couple times, and before we realized what was going on, like that's when everything kind of gets pulled back, and they're like, oh, it's a causality, what was it, call it causality infraction or whatever it's called.
Inversion.
Call it causality inversion, but we see Spock die and we're like, holy shit, what are they doing? And
It's
then
not
we're
supposed
just,
to happen.
yeah, that's not supposed to happen. And then and then you see Ortegas's brother die, but it's like, and then after they're towards the end of the episode, it all comes back together as it was like a causality thing where it's like, no, this is potential futures that could have happened, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
That would have been a lot more
Could
clever.
have played with that
Yeah.
a lot more. Yeah.
So that again, that's why I was just like, I think they left a lot on the table here with this episode. And honestly, they again, they focus too much on the drama, the Chapel, the Corbin, the Spock, and now La'an, and it's like, just stop. Give us
Or
more.
take as his brother and all of that.
Yeah,
And
like,
they killed off a good character.
Yeah, but they wasted.
I was really sad about that.
Well, no, and it's not even the fact they killed off a good. I'm okay with them killing a good character. They wasted a good character because he's only been around for a couple episodes.
You lose all the potential for
it was a Tasha
storylines with him.
Yar because they killed. Now I know Tasha Yar behind the scenes wanted to get written off because she wasn't happy with her part. But like, it's a Tasha Yar effect. It's like you have a potential character that could be really good, and you just kill them off early on. And I get it, Tasha had more episodes, but at the same time, it feels kind of the same. Like, we had no time to really even care about this character. And honestly, with Tasha Yar, you could have just recast her. It would have sucked, but like, you could have recasted her instead of just killing her off in the first season. You know, like with Gamble, we had potential here to have a good character for the whole season. And even if you want to kill him in the final episode of the season, fine. At least we get some kind of resolution there with that character. But it's like, no, they're just like, well, we'll put him in for a couple episodes and then we're gonna redshirt him.
There's no emotional effect.
See, look, that's the I have to be honest with you. I'm very much on the ball with you guys with a lot of things, but this is the only issue I'm not like. I like the fact that, you know, here's this young rookie kid. You know, he's fresh faced, first mission, dead. You know what I mean? Like, there is a shock to that, and I'm cool with that. You know,
then introduce him at the beginning of the episode and just kill him. He's a red shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
but this is it's just different. It doesn't have to be formulaic like that. You know, at the same time. But I didn't mind it. I'm just saying that there's other things as well, like Ortega's his brother being in there. I just really feel that's a waste of time. You know,
it really is.
You know, and all of these things, and like I said, like I want this. This is a proper opportunity to make an episode, but they're arcing everything, so you can't just willy nilly miss an episode of Strange New Worlds like you could do with TNG, like you could do with Voyager. You know, you have to have watched the previous stuff. Those are my issues. With this episode. Now you got Chapel's boyfriend who's like becoming like a major part of all of this. Like, who gives a shit about him? You know what I mean?
Well, but he was in TOS, so he has to be a major part.
Stands.
Was he?
On our TOS watch alongs. Wasn't he the planet with the mechanical, the big tall dude that was a mechanical thing? Wasn't that him?
I can't bloody remember. Like, yeah, but
yeah, I think it was like episode 4 or something like that. The what our little girl's made of? Isn't that the one that was him? So not gonna
but like the thing with Battelle is cool, but I would have like maybe connected the Gorn with this race in a different way. You know, like even with the Battelle thing lingering on now, like how long that's going to be in our background having to deal with. I mean, like these subplots that are now pretty much interwoven in every episode we're getting. You know, I don't care about these things. You know, like I just want to watch a proper episode of Star Trek where they're focusing on mainly what's going on with the scenario and the situation that they put themselves in. You know, that's what makes Star Trek so great. You know, anyways.
I agree. So that's been our review of Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 5.
I'm sorry, Donkey. What did I missed your mark, but I must have dozed off. What did you give it?
I gave it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've been watching NerdTube. We do a lot more than just Trek here, so there's plenty of reasons why you should subscribe to the channel. Earlier today, we had a live stream about the new WWE subscription package. Talk about games. We talk about all sorts of stuff, MCU, DC, comics related things. So if you haven't already, should subscribe to NerdTube. Should definitely like this video, share it with your friends. I want to thank my co-hosts, Zam, Cheeto, and Lord Donkey. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me tonight. I want to thank the audience for being here. And yeah, tell your friends about NerdTube. It's the best social media